It's already on. Hey, everybody. How's it going? 7 o'clock p.m. Central on the dot here at Global International Network, Destiny Global International Network, Alternative Public Radio International, and Lone Wolf Radio on Restream and running live on 7 other platforms tonight. Good to be here. I see we got Tim Dawson in the house tonight. We didn't publicize the show tonight. Kind of made me sad. We didn't have time to promote the show. Tim, get out there and promote the show, man. Wow. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. David's going to be a little late getting with us tonight. He had to take his little girl to a recital or something, and he'll be a little late getting in. Lots of things going on, ladies and gentlemen. Tim, if you're trying to talk, you're muffled out. You sound like your speaker is broken or something. I don't even know if I'm coming through, Tim, audio wise. I really don't know if I'm coming through or not. Um, Let me go to captions and there he is. Hey Tim, how you doing? I can't hear you. You're muted, Tim. Your microphone is muted, Tim. Um, but I've got you there. I sure do. There's Tim Dawson's name. Boy, the computer knows exactly who you are. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, interesting last couple of weeks. A lot of really crazy things have happened around the world. To tell you the truth, just really uh, insane, incomprehensible, really. Things have happened. And tonight, I wanted to try to bring a little bit of a different approach to the situation, a little bit of a different angle, different narrative, different commentary, different analysis to the situation. And I'm doing that mainly because the posts that I've been seeing on Facebook and other social media platforms concerning all of these various things that are going on. Uh, it seems that many people are not taking this serious at all. I have talked to so many people over the last month who have just not even either known that this is happening or just didn't care, didn't want to talk about it, didn't really care that it was happening, or they are waiting on some midterm elections to save the day, for the Republicans to save the day. And of course, now we're being told that Joe Biden will just stay in office because of the situation with this war and the changeover at the United Nations and the World Economic Forum. We're told that Joe will somehow find a way to wiggle his way in and just stay in the White House there, which I think is very interesting. I would like to see how that pans out. I would like to see how that works. I hope that's not the case because obviously, if you look at what the Democrats are doing to this country, uh, if you have two brain cells in your head to rub together, they're destroying this country. They're destroying everything in this country and around this country, from sea to shining sea, from shore to shore. They're destroying everything in this country, and they're creating some of the most Marxist, communist socialist bills and legislative agreements that could possibly be penned by the president. And it's amazing how these people think. It's amazing how these people think about our senior citizens, about our veterans, about our police officers, about our firemen, paramedics, our healthcare system, our education system, and government in general. Um, it's amazing how they can be so destructive and so hate filled and so confused, in my opinion, just downright confused. Um, Daddy used to say discombobulated. We ought to use that word again, discombobulated. Bring that back here in 2022 because they are discombobulated, I'll tell you. I mean, they're in bed with the transhumanists. They're in bed with this idea of jacking around with the genome and creating human animals, bringing those two uh, ingredients together to form some type of new entity that's not human and not animal, but human animal. And this is being done right now all over the world in many different spaces and places. And then again, besides, I've told everybody, besides this threat of war that's going on right now with China and Russia and North Korea setting their sights on the United States, they have said that they want to kill every last person in the United States. They have publicly made that very very public that they want to destroy every single one of us who live here in the United States, and they want to own it, control it, lock, stock, and barrel. And it seems that many people just can't grasp the magnitude of a statement like that made by someone so powerful in three different countries who have the same basic idea and attitude toward the American people. And of course, Canada is included in this menocide, genocide, extermination, if you will, termination of human life, as well as Australia. And of course, the Chinese have factions in Taiwan, and we have factions in Taiwan. So the Chinese think that they own Taiwan, that Taiwan is an actual part of China, when in fact Taiwan has been sovereign for a very long time. And the Chinese have always thought that they own and control Taiwan. Now, the United States, now that we've had these different uh, arguments and debates over territory and border disputes and mineral rights disputes and precious metal disputes and trade disputes and all of these other things, China's decided that they want to just take Taiwan by force. And Taiwan isn't good enough for them. They want to go ahead and just take the United States. Now, for the first time, never thought I would hear that in my 65 years of living. Never thought I would see the day when this would be happening. Never thought I would see the day when this would come out of anyone's mouth at all. It's a very scary thing to someone who has an open mind and can see the potential dangers in all of this. And of course, as I said, it's not just about if the war happens. The war has already happened. We are in a devastating situation here in the U.S. right now, uh, financially, economically, psychologically, philosophically. Uh, we are in a very, very bad situation with our deficit spending and uh, with our centralized, overblown government with its many hundreds of thousands of agencies and entities that are again, wanting to come down like China and control every living strand of DNA on the planet. It's a control issue. It's a control issue. It seems like kind of a mad scientist thing going on when we move into the transhumanism. I wanted to talk about that a little bit tonight. How um, people are saying, oh, well, if we negotiate with China somehow, maybe they won't attack and maybe Russia will settle down and maybe the Ukraine war will fizzle out and everything will be okay. No, that's not the case, ladies and gentlemen. Wake up. Study what they're doing with the blockchain right now. Just study what the blockchain really is. Many of you do not understand blockchain. Many of you think blockchain has to do with Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, and that could not be further from the truth. Blockchain is all about domination, dominating the human entity, dominating the human soul, the human spirit, the human as a biological entity, and turning humans into biological capital or human capital and controlling them completely through digital IDs, digital passports, different phone apps, and mandatory lockdowns and quarantines and mandates and more mandates for vaccines and all of these types of things. And this control will come through the Department of Health and Human Services, along with the United Nations, along with the World Health Organization and the Centers for Disease Control, and of course, the World Economic Forum over there with Mr. Klaus Schwab. Some of the things, ladies and gentlemen, that are happening right now are so far beyond most of your comprehension because you simply do not read, you simply do not study, you simply do not take the time to look deeply into these issues and run down these very dark, deep rabbit holes like we do here at Alternative Public Radio. Between Mary and I and our team, we spend about 350 hours a week in deep research about what's going on around the country. And now we have this abortion issue popping up, which is a major, major issue there again since Roe versus Wade. They were trying to overturn Roe versus Wade. I'm not even really sure where we are on that. Maybe David can give me an update. I doubt it. But David's working so hard he doesn't have time to open his books um, to research shit right now. And all those kids he's got, oh my God, I told him he might as well be in prison. 5 kids at home. He'd be better off in general population down there at the prison. It's a terrible situation. Uh, well, there's Father Knows Best now popping in. Father Knows Best, who would be better off living in the prison down there with 5 kids at home. He definitely would be better off living at the prison. I'm going to try to get him a reservation down at the local prison there in Arkansas and see if we can get him a room down there. Welcome, David. Nice to
Hey,
see
what's
you.
up? Yeah, no, I made
Don't
it
want to
finally.
be you.
Yeah, I know,
Nice to
right?
see you. Don't want to be you. Yeah. It's
Probably
always
so.
good to see. Always good to see your smiling face.
Good deal. Good deal. I'm glad.
We were we were just kind of going over some of the last things that happened over the last month, and I was talking about how devastating all of this news is to many people, and how most people I interview uh, have no idea that this is even going on. I've interviewed over. Marion said I had interviewed. We go out and do these interviews, independent interviews. Marion said I had interviewed over 75 individuals Um, and I must say that all 75 interviews, people were just not there, just not present. They just didn't get it at all what was going on. Many of these were nurses, and some were doctors, and some were physicians, assistants, PAs, and they just didn't get it. They're just totally aloof to what's going on. Totally just asleep at the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm sure you know a few people like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You may be
Definitely.
living with maybe living with a few of them. No, but anyway, um, I I'm feeding back somehow, or somebody's
Yeah, I
trying
heard
to
that.
talk. Somebody's trying to interfere with our signal, our frequency here.
Al. I know we're
Speaking of
having some storms
frequency,
here.
well, we've had our share. We've had our share
I bet.
here, and it's been kind of scary. Of course, we've been hoping for a good disaster so we can get out and work. You know,
Yeah.
uh, get out and run those calls and get out there and use that siren and that run around. Um, but yeah, I've been looking at all of this and I've been listening to a lot of opinions from yogis and sages, which I thought was very interesting and something I was going to bring up tonight.
All right.
Yogis, sages, masters, martial arts masters, kung fu masters, and Zen, as I am a Zen master, Zen masters also. I went into my books and I looked at some of the authors, and I went in and looked at some of the videos and listened to some of the commentary, late commentary, and of course, the yogis and their followers. They're asking philosophical, hermetical, esoteric, occult questions concerning consciousness, death, the spirit, the soul, what happens after death. And they're also now hitting the yogis with some pretty hard scientific questions, I've noticed, especially Sadhguru. Sadhguru has been hit with some very, very difficult scientific questions concerning atomic energy and concerning the proton and concerning the uh, the basis of cloning and talking about the transhumanistic thing. Sadhguru likes to kind of stay away from the transhuman situation. I've noticed he tries to avoid talking about that. And I've noticed some of the other yogis have been avoiding some subjects as of late, saying that that is something that we had just rather stay away from. That is something that we really should not be thinking about. That is something that we should really not be clouding our mind with. And I'm thinking to myself, well, aren't you just basically saying you don't have a philosophical answer for these things, and you're just rather avoid getting into a conversation that you really don't know anything about. But I'm not sure that that's the case because some of these yogis are highly educated,
Yeah.
college educated. But tonight, I wanted to put a different spin on this, and I wanted to bring everybody back to where we were a while back when I was teaching about the simulation.
Mhm.
And we forget so easy that we're living in the matrix, that we're living in some sort of simulation. We're living in some sort of paradigm that we do not understand. We do not have any way to analyze the source of our being in this matrix, in this simulation, in this hologram, in this dream within a dream, if you will. And we're living in a very sterile. When you look at it like I do, you see everything as very very cold, very sterile, uh, very hard nosed, very factual, very face on face, eye on eye, hardcore, um, dog eat dog. Spockish. I'm very spockish. I'm very highly intellectual, like highly analytical, highly scientific. I don't put any woo woo in any of this. And I notice the people that I talk to, and David, I'm going to give you a while to commentary here in a moment and talk
Okay.
about this. But um, the people that I speak to, well, some as of late just make me want to puke because they say, well, God's got it. I talked to a few ladies today I interviewed, and they got really upset with me. And they said, I said, what do you all think about the current situation with China and Russia and North Korea? They said, we don't need to talk about that. God's got all that in control. And, God's got all that in control. And I said, hey, whoa, whoa. I said, really? You think, really? 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 You think God's doing all this? You think God has some connection to this insanity? And if you do, I would like to know the connection. I want to know from David Ray. I want to know from Tim Dawson. I want to know from everybody. I want you to tell me the connection to this God that you speak of. How is this God connected to this situation? What's the
Which
purpose?
it
What would
sounds
be
like
the
it's
purpose? What would be the purpose in even saying something like that? You must have knowledge that I don't have. You must have
yeah.
metaphysical or religious knowledge that I don't have, and I'm pretty much a scholar, a biblical scholar, as well as with the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita. I'm pretty much a scholar in the Lotus Sutra, and I'm pretty much a scholar in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and I'm pretty much a scholar in the Vedas, and I'm pretty much a scholar in the Sinitras, and I'm pretty much a scholar in the Samaritan text. I would like for you to tell me something I have missed.
Yeah, missed. I would say when they say that, they're just putting it into somebody else's hands and not their own. You see what I'm saying? Make it somebody else's
Pass
priority
the
instead of their own.
pass the buck real quick.
hmm I mean that's the easiest thing to do for people.
Don't people put that on God like everything? Don't they put anything they can't understand or figure out or don't want to talk about? They just say, "Oh, that's God's deal."
Yeah, it's something that they just say it's just
It's
in
a cop,
somebody else's hands, basically.
so it's a cop out. It's a cop out.
I would say.
It's an intellectual cop out. Um, they just don't. They don't have the education or the information, enough information to give a critical opinion on whatever it is you're trying to talk about.
Yep. And that's what I would feel like. That's why most people would probably just say that, in a sense of putting it in somebody else's hands, basically. I mean, because that's the only way I feel that it is. Because the way, even if you word it any other way, that's like the vibration it comes off. That's what you get. It's like you got to understand what the vibration of that meaning is saying, and that's what to me that says.
Speaking of vibration, we are dealing here with um, an illusion of physicality and
Mhm.
materialism. And this is something that I think has even been hard for my co host to grab fully a hold of over the last few weeks, months. Um, it's very, very difficult to pull yourself out and detach from this physical illusion. It's very, very, very difficult to detach yourself from that for any length of time and get into that ultimate space of essence, pure essence. You notice I'm not putting an I in that essence or a we or a me in that essence. I'm not mixing that I in with that essence because I doesn't go with the essence. I is the illusion.
Yep.
Me, we, they is the illusion that the brain has created as physical reality. So that doesn't go with the essence at all.
Yeah.
When you
Most-
reach when you begin to travel in the direction of pure vibrational energy frequency and essence, you at some point leave the I behind and disconnect, and now you're in nirvana, which is a blank space a void of silence, a void of emptiness, a peace that is insurmountable, a peace that cannot be described or understood by the conscious mind, even. When you go into that essence of that fifth dimension, you're not even in consciousness anymore. I believe consciousness is a third dimensional, we're locked into the third dimensional, fourth dimensional space time. I believe consciousness is another figment of the imagination. Now, this is something breaking here tonight. I'm breaking some news tonight. I'm
Okay.
I'm I'm saying something very controversial,
Hmm.
very controversial. That I believe consciousness is a part of this fourth dimensional space time only. I believe when you leave that, you leave consciousness.
Okay.
This thing we call mind,
Hmm.
minta, mind. I believe mind is an illusion of the idea or the philosophy that somehow people equate mind with spirituality. Well,
Yeah.
what is spirituality? It's encased also in the idea of physicality.
Hmm.
It's
Yes.
encased also in this idea that we're physical, material beings with a brain and a body and an I and a me, right? Is it so?
Mhm. Yes.
So the ultimate way to try and look at this is total escape, total detachment from all of these fictions.
Hmm.
Well, for one, that would be a beautiful thing if one could actually completely detach from this drama, this insanity, this confusion, this stress, this depression, this demonstrous thing that's going on all around us right now. Detachment would be a wonderful thing. This is probably why many people commit suicide because they're just wanting to completely cut the rope. As I said, I'm a kite last night. They're wanting to cut the kite away from the body and just float. There it goes. It's gone. And that's what people are trying to do to stop worrying, to stop being stressed out, to stop being depressed, stop being sick, mentally ill, stop
Hmm.
taking all these psychotropics, stop drinking yourself into a silly frenzy, stop taking the drugs to try to escape reality. This is why many people take DMT or ayahuasca or psilocybin or any of the other hallucinogens, psychedelics that are out there, is to escape reality, to see what is on the other side, what does exist out there, if anything at all. All of the philosophers and all of the great thinkers of our time for thousands and thousands of years have been asking this great question of what is beyond mind, brain, what is beyond this illusion, this fiction of material, physical reality.
Yeah.
And of course, no one has ever come up with an answer.
Well, no one ever probably will.
There won't be an answer because answers are not something that are passed out in the fifth dimension.
No.
You once you reach that point, I think I say you. See, I said you again. You can't reach that point because there won't be a you there.
Yeah.
There won't be an I. I won't be there. You won't be there. We won't be there.
Yeah. Nobody will
Well,
be there.
what? Well, there won't be a there because there's
No.
not a there because
Nope.
because there is everywhere. Now, I do believe in the sages when they say the universe is in a drop of water or a teardrop. They're trying to make the point that everywhere is here and here is everywhere. And they're trying to make the point that now is all time and all time is now. Everything
Hmm.
happens in the present moment. These are very difficult things to comprehend in this pea brain that we have between
Yeah.
our ears. We think probably, wow, we're so technologically advanced. Mercy, mercy, mercy. We think we're so smart. We may not be very smart at all.
Yeah, I know, right?
There may be something out there that would just spin your cap around on your head, you know,
Yeah.
if you knew, you know, even with our technology today that's being hidden from us, which is a lot.
Hmm.
Things are being hidden from our society. The reason they created secret societies in the first place, do you know why they created secret societies, how they came to be, back in Samaria and back in Babylon and back in the great kings of Egypt and before, prior to Samaria?
I mean, probably not. No, I really don't. Not after
They,
after you know what we'd say the Bible was written, but no, not after
uh,
that. Probably.
well, the Bible's an insignificant point here
Yeah.
because the Bible is so just a few seconds old, and
Yep.
it's a
So
fiction beyond all fictions.
yeah.
But the secret societies were created because the leadership, the aristocracy, the kings, the monarchs, the leadership, the rulers did not want the common peasants to have any knowledge of anything whatsoever. They did not want them to be able to speak clearly or to understand how to write in chloroform or hieroglyphic, or they didn't want them to have any critical thinking skills. They didn't want them socializing, getting together, having ideas like people used to sit at the pub and drink beer and make all these decisions. Ireland, that was a big deal. Scotland, that was a big deal. That's where we get our idea of making decisions in the pub. Goes all the way back to England.
Okay.
Um, those are where some of the most powerful political decisions in the world have come from, is out of a pub. You
At a
know,
pub
yeah, and
or a lounge.
yeah, and still today, some of the greatest
Mm.
deals are made in restaurant pubs or hotel pubs, doing karaoke.
Yep.
Guys sitting around making deals on napkins, drawing out little
Yeah.
drawings on napkins and turning them into $1 million projects. I've been there. I've been there. I've seen it happen.
I'll bet.
But getting back to secret societies, that's the reason these secret societies formed in the first place. The Masons being a good example.
Hmm.
The Masons had to form a secret society because they did not. The kings and the queens of the time, the monarchs and the pharaohs, they saw these peasants conversing and having their own parties, their own get-togethers, and their own conversations, and the spies would go out and listen to these different conversations.
Hmm.
Well, the spies went back and reported that, hey, these people are getting too smart. They're asking too many questions. They're we can't have this. You know,
Yeah.
they're asking too many questions. They're inquiring about this. They're inquiring about that. Some of them have learned how to read, or some of them have learned how to write or scribble or scroll. We can't have this.
No.
So they started killing all of these people. This is how the original witch hunt in Salem started. The same situation. With
Bam.
knowledge that went against the church, knowledge that went against the aristocracy, knowledge that went against the current leadership, knowledge that went against the church. They couldn't have it. They couldn't have it. So if you were a naturalist, you were killed. If you were a holistic uh, practitioner, you were killed. If you were um, a witch of any kind, you were killed. You were considered a witch if you did anything out of the normal or anything out of the ordinary or beyond the narrative of the day. You were considered a witch. You could wear something different. You could carry a cane that looked in a
Hmm.
certain way. You could be singing a song that was different, and you could be killed instantly. You could be burned at the stake. So this is how all this happened. They
Okay.
simply did not want to have intelligent peasants, just like masters didn't want to have intelligent slaves.
No.
This is why they burned all their books. This is why they beat them. If they caught them with a book, they would beat them, and beat them, and torture them, and torture them, and torture them to death sometimes, because they did not want them educated. And our society today The monarchy is the same way. The leadership is the same way. The aristocracy is the same way. They want to keep us dumbed down. They want to keep us stupid. They want to keep our attention diverted away from what's going on with them and what they're
Mhm.
getting ready to do to us. They don't want us to be able to put together a plan to thwart any of that
Yeah.
or to stop any of that from happening, you see.
Yep.
And so they've devised toys for us here. They've devised toys that work, computers.
Yep.
They've devised toys that, okay, well, now we can let them have a toy because now it's benefiting us. It's training the super AI.
Yep.
So as long as it's benefiting us and as long as we're
Mm.
making money on them and they're just human capital or cattle, as they call us, we're
Capital.
just
Capital.
cattle, we'll go ahead and let them do this, you know. We'll go ahead and let them keep this charade up, and we'll get the children involved with all these little iPads and all these little
Mm.
games at school. Now we've got little
Yep.
games. Kids at school have the little games. Well, those are enslavement, electronic enslavement games. Those are to enslave the child completely. Take the child's soul, take the child's spirit, take the child's body, take the child's mind, take the child's brain, and just suck it right in. Feed the system, feed the massive machine. That's what that's about, see? But parents see it as, oh, my child's learning hip hop
Learning.
frog and learning this, and learning that, and doing this and doing that. Parents are so stupid. They don't realize their child is being enslaved. They might as well have a ball and chain hanging off of them and being incested and having sex with the teacher. They might as well be just treated like an object
Yeah.
because that's what they've become is just an object. They've become just an object, an equation. They've been reduced to just a hunk of flesh.
Yeah. That kind of just struck a chord with me today. Because while I was at my daughter's kindergarten graduation, right, there was a kid. He was there. He's probably a special needs kid, So yeah, he probably needed a little bit of help. But please tell me why, like the lady, like you would say his handler was handling him was with like a little cord wrapped around his wrist, with those like look like a little uh, almost kind of like something you would put on a monkey or just on something an animal or something like that, just because you don't want to have to deal with it and you just want to make sure that he stays within reach of you or something like that, and just kind of and it's just kind of and that's what they just allow, and people don't see it that that's what they're doing, just enslaving these kids to anything they want them to do, just whatever they want, just they're subject to whatever they need as long as it benefits them and nobody else, truly.
And these kids are just a nuisance to many people,
Mm-hmm.
just a nuisance to be seen and not heard.
Yep.
Basically, I grew up under that philosophy of be seen and not heard.
Mm.
It was kind of a joke in our family, but at the same time, it was somewhat true.
Yeah.
You should be seen and not heard, especially when
Yep.
company comes over.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut and stay under the bed and hide or whatever. I grew up in that type of atmosphere, and it didn't affect
Yep.
me in a negative way at all because
Yep.
I always had my little head stuck out and I was listening and learning everything I could.
Well, at least hiding in the shadow listening from around the corner or somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I learned most of
Yep.
what I know today. I had a lot of very intelligent relatives who would come over and they would talk for hours, and I would listen hiding under the furniture. When you're that little, you can scramble from coffee table, and tea table to you can
Mm.
scramble around. Nobody can see you.
Yep.
And
Yep.
even if they do see you, they kind of just ignore you. They don't really know this kid may be really learning something here.
Yeah. Like what
But
he
if you take if you take away the morality out of this equation, this
did. Hmm.
current day equation, this current day situation, this current day paradigm, this current day event horizon, this current day singularity, this current day of fourth industrial revolution, if you take that principle of morality or principle out of the equation and remove God from the equation, you are much more able to understand what is happening, why it's happening, and so forth. If you look at it from a moral standpoint, you're obviously going to say Satan is doing this. This is all Satan. Oh, Satan, 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 Satan. These are Satanists. I hear it on Facebook. You can go right now and look, and you can see person after person after person after person after person. Masons are Satanists. The BLM people are all Satanists. The Antifas are all Satanists. The terrorists are all Satanists. And anybody that I don't agree with is a Satanist, and abortionists are Satanists, and women are Satanists if they abort their baby. Everybody's a Satanist. My neighbor's a Satanist because he has a weird looking flag on his front porch. It's a rebel flag. He's a Satanist. Everybody's a Satanist. You
Everybody's
know,
just saying they don't even know what the fucking word means.
it's insane. It's like you said earlier. It's a cop out. It's a way to just not have the discussion.
Yeah, it is.
Just
I
cut
mean,
off all discussion. Just cut off all intelligent discussion. You know.
it's just it's like, and people have been, like you said, people misuse words all the time. They don't understand these words. They think that these words are all just oh, somebody created this word just so that no, that word was created for a reason, not just for no stupid reasons. There's multiple reasons why that word was created. That's why there's multiple reasons why a word has multiple reasons, or fucking understandings to it.
Well,
So
they have origins that go back
mm,
centuries and thousands of
you got to
years.
find
Many
out
of
where they
these
go.
words, and so
Mm-hmm.
you have to understand where, like you said, the origin, the etymology of the word, the source of the word. Where did it come from? How did it get into our linguistic paradigm, our linguistic algorithm? You know,
Mm-hmm.
our English language and other languages. Um, so it's very important to see this from a spiritual, moralistic standpoint. Is one way to look at all of this, and then the other way to look at it is from a scientific, sociological standpoint, as I look
Yes.
at it.
Yes.
Um, I say shit happens. My philosophy goes back to shit happens, and it is what it is.
It's what it is. I mean,
I mean,
that's
if
how it
you
is.
if you start putting woo woo into it, then you got all kinds of trouble.
Yeah. Then you
Like
start getting, yeah.
God did this, and devil did this. Oh, there's a demon over there, and there's a demon in that closet, and there's a demon in that closet, and there's some weird looking thing in that closet, and it just gets crazy. Woo woo, woo woo, woo woo, woo woo. It gets insane. People, you think people are insane talking like that.
You do, but then you gotta let them know that they're just, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to get them to understand when they don't understand what they're dealing with too. You know what I mean?
Well, you
So
can't get them to understand that they're living in a machine as a machine. And you can't get them to understand that they're a biological entity, yes, but they're also a collapsed waveform, yes, and that reality doesn't exist except in the cerebral cortex. That ends the conversation right there. If they could just get that, they would say, "Whoa, I need to go home for a week. Think about that."
yeah, you might want to reanalyze that situation.
So when you learn that you're not physical, that this is just compressed matter
Mhm.
at a certain frequency. This is density, frequency
Yep,
density,
it's
low
all density.
frequency density.
But
So,
what's the
you get
equation?
the lower
Mass over
density
density.
and yeah, lower density, higher density, you know. And so as if you flow up the chart as in string theory, as you go up the chart, things begin to loosen up, and you get wider and more depth and more breadth in it. When it comes down, it gets down to a focus, a bead that you start to have a consciousness and a brain. Then you start to have opinions. Then you start to have ideas, and then you have to have concepts and philosophies and hypotheses and theories. This is where all this silliness comes from.
You're
This
just
is
being
where,
channeled. It's
yeah,
like you're just being channeled. You're channeling energy. That's all you're doing.
each of these things are just another frequency, another level of attenuation. Which there again, when you see it as it really is, things become rather boring in a way
Yes.
because you're just frequency. You're really not as important as you thought you were, and what you're saying is basically bullshit.
Yeah.
coming from an opinion that came from an opinion that came from an opinion that came
Another
from an opinion that came from another opinion that came from misinformation and disinformation.
that's opinionated as
Right.
well.
That was
Don't forget.
opinionated. Yeah. So you're the end result is insanity, some form of
Yeah.
insanity,
Yep.
you know.
I don't get to go sit on my thinking rock today. It's raining and it's all wet, so I got to sit here on my board
Daddy
instead.
Daddy used to call it the blind leading the blind, and that's what's happening today here on Facebook. You've
Yeah,
got the
that.
blind leading the blind.
Yeah, very much. You very much do.
And as I said, this is why you see gurus just sitting with a grin on their face because they're enjoying all of the insanity. They're looking out at all of the insanity that's ensuing, and
Yeah,
they're just thinking, "Oh, these poor creatures, these poor, poor, ignorant creatures."
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
People very seldom go deep inside themselves. I asked Marianne the other day, "When's the last time?" I said, "Have you ever really explored yourself?" And she finally said, "No." And you might say the same thing, David. It's a very, very complex operation, very difficult operation. Uh, it takes a long time to be able to perform an operation like that.
Yes, very much.
Very few people have went in search of their essence to see what's there. Very few people have questioned or been interested in what is
Yeah, yeah.
behind this me? What is this me? What is running this me? What is this me? What is this I? What is this I? What is I?
Hmm.
What is I?
What is I?
Is it your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your ears? Is it your attitude? Is it your behavior? Is it your sexual desire? Is it your desire for fun and excitement? Is it your desire for love? Is it your uh, what is I?
Hmm. That's a very good question. Some people say I am that I am. Some say I am who I am.
Another cop out.
Uh, those cop out. You could be anything. I mean, just the I and me is, I don't know. It's just
You don't know what the I. See, you haven't looked
there's
before.
no evidence. Yeah, there's
You
there's really
haven't
not.
looked. You haven't looked before. No, that's what the fact is. You haven't looked. You haven't looked under the bed to see what's under there. You haven't looked under the hood of your machine to see what's
Okay.
running it. Now, if you have, you would be talking differently right now. Your commentary would
Yeah,
be different. Your
definitely.
explanation would be different. Your narrative would be different.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
people live in
True.
this constant external world of bullshit,
Hmm.
constant this shallow shell of bullshit, and it's people get called set in their ways. You've heard that people are set
Yeah.
in their ways.
Can't teach an old dog new tricks,
Ain't
stuff
teaching
like
all
that.
dog new tricks. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. All of these things are saying, I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. I'm just mimicking. I'm just parroting my external environment. I'm just parroting, parroting, and parroting. I'm hearing this over here, and then I'm putting it out over here, and I'm changing it a little bit this way and a little bit that way. And that's all.
Hmm.
That's not the you though. That's not who the you is or the I is.
No.
See, you are not your brain. Now let me get a little deeper here
Okay.
for all of you out there that are philosophical. You are not your brain. You
Hmm.
are not your mind. You are not your job. You are not your marriage. You are not your father. You are not your car. You
Right.
are not your eyes. You are not your nose. You are not your taste. You're not any of these things.
No.
Now, that's complex. That's difficult to grab a hold of.
Mhm.
It's difficult to wrap your mind around
Very.
because you want to say, yes, I am those things. You want to say, oh no, that makes up me. Oh no, these are my eyes. Oh no, I hear through this nose. I smell through this nose. This is me. This right here, me. This nose. These eyes are me. This is all part of me. This is all you say all kinds of things. You'll say this is a part of me. Okay, well, it's a part of you, but it's not you.
It's not you.
So you might not even exist.
That is a very big factor there.
The density that's come together under the waveform collapse in the attenuation in sine and cosine, if you do the equations, you'll see that you do not exist except in the density formation for the brain to critically take in the external quanti and the external information that comes in and turn it into something and filter it into something that tricks you into believing you're living in a physical reality. So therefore you act as if you're a physical entity with linguistics, with hearing, with sight, with sound, with taste. It's an illusion. It's a straw man. It's a puppet on a string.
Yep.
You're a
Avatar.
puppet on the string of frequency. You're a puppet
Yep.
on the string of frequency. You see? Do you understand?
Yeah, I see.
You're
Just a puppet control.
dangling on the strings of attenuated frequency and bandwidth and energy, pure energy. So we've all deluded ourselves somehow. Nature has created this way that we can delude ourselves into believing that we're somehow individualistic, that we're individuals in this
Independent.
multitude of cattle,
Yeah.
this collective insanity that has ensued here. When in fact, it's all just energy, it's all just frequency, it's all just vibration or vibratory attenuation.
Yep.
It's all just sine cosine. It's all just equation. It's all just pure mathematics in physical form or physical elusive form. Now, if people would look out there at the situation that's going on in the world right now with all of the death and destruction and devastation and molestation and rape and maiming and pillaging and property damage and theft and extortion and all of these things that are happening, well, you have to look at that and say, well, how can I explain that from what Kiler Davenport just said? Or from what you already know. You could, how could you explain all of that? How would you explain all of that in a very cold? Let's just say I wanted you to be Spockish. I wanted you to be a scientist. I wanted you to be a sociologist. I wanted you to be an analyst. And I wanted you to explain it from a socio-psychological standpoint or a psychodemographic analysis standpoint.
Okay.
How would you go about doing that?
I mean,
Without,
you just have to take, I mean, take every variable that's there and be open to what are the possibilities and what are not the possibilities. And, you
where do
know,
those possibilities come from? Let's talk about that.
we know possibilities come from, theories and, scientific works of trying to theorize or try to come up with a way of equation of something, how something works or how it's interpreted to work. And, you just take every variable that's just on that scale and you just combine them into different
So
aspects.
why
And then you
are
start
there
looking
women who want to abort, two babies a year, and there's women that don't?
at women that want to abort 2 babies a year and then women that don't. I mean, I guess you'd have balance of each side. So, I
No,
mean,
you'd have woo woo. You'd have woo woo. There
oh,
would be God in there somewhere. There would be conscious.
there,
There would be a form of consciousness in there somewhere that says, I have a conscience. And the girl that doesn't want to abort and believes in family and believes in stability of family and believes in
there you go.
life and living and breathing little monsters would have a conscience and say, "Oh, I wouldn't dare kill my child because God wouldn't want me to do that, or I don't believe in killing, or I don't believe in murder," right? So it's a
Right.
belief
Yep.
system, right? Where does that
Right.
belief system come from?
From exterior, um, illusions, exterior illusions from all the different aspects of things.
So you're saying what you're trying to say is it comes from long-term programming and indoctrination over a long period of time, which turns into an experience, which turns into a perception, which turns into an intent,
Which then becomes a reality for somebody.
which then becomes an action, a
Hmm.
reality, or an action. I love it. I love it, producer. I love it. Producer, can I have Dr. Pepper, please? Just get your ass in there and do it, you little burrhead.
Like that
Um,
antifreeze, don't you?
yeah.
Just playing.
Put your breast back in your shirt, please. They look like two cantaloupes hanging off a truck. Never seen nothing like that in my damn life. Pitiful.
Hey, that's I was watching Ellen earlier today, and they had Oprah on there, and she was sitting there holding two melons, taking her picture with Ellen with two melons.
Oh, that Ellen and Mellons, I tell you, that Ellen, she is something else. She's well, she's a bitch to her staff. She's a
Oh
bitch.
man, oh man,
She won't even talk to her audience members unless the cameras are on and red
yeah,
lighted live.
wow,
They say she is a total bitch. Oprah's a little different. Oprah's been compared to Donald Trump. He will go back in the kitchen and talk to the kitchen staff and meet
yeah.
the waiters and the cleaning people. And
I've heard that
Elvis
about
was
Oprah
Elvis
too.
was the same way. A lot of people were. A lot of great stars. Elton John,
Have to,
huh?
you have to. I mean,
Yeah,
it's because it's you're just being personal with people, and that's how people like you, because you're personal with other people, and you don't care to show your true self to other people.
yeah. Now, Justin Bieber is just your antithesis of all of that. Your opposite of all of that. A total punk. Just a punk. As he was young. As he got older, he became more mellow and he became more caring and
Yeah.
more adjusted to the way he should treat others. But when he
Hmm.
was young, he was a spoiled, screaming, hair pulling little brat that would get out on the floor and just throw tantrums and before every concert and beat his head against the wall and just there again programming, indoctrination, upbringing.
Yep.
You know,
I had a I had a little niece, or a niece. She was like that when she was growing up. Like the little girl, like when she threw a temper tantrum, she would throw her head back, and I mean, all the way up until she was like 5, 6 years old. She'd be sitting on the floor, and if her mom told her to do something and she didn't want to do it, she'd just throw her head back, slam her head on the floor, like boom,
you
and
know
start
what you
screaming
do.
and crying. She
You
hurt
know what
herself.
you do with kids like that.
Huh.
Besides drown them in the bathtub,
Yeah,
you
no doubt,
leave
right?
them. You just leave them alone and let them kill themselves.
Yeah,
Just
let
let
them hurt
them
themselves.
let them beat themselves to death, and just to totally ignore the situation. Totally ignore it. Just go into another room, close the door, and just act like nothing is wrong. Just ignore it.
Yeah, give
They
no
do it.
attention to it.
They do it for attention.
Oh
They
yeah,
do it
they do.
to get you upset. They do it to get your feathers flying. And they do it to get their way.
Yeah,
This is why
definitely.
parents spoil their kids by letting them have everything they want, when they want it, how they want it.
Yep,
They go to the
definitely.
store, mommy, I want that, 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 I want. No, he's in it. If he gets that, I want that. You can't do that. You can't. You
No, you
can't get
can't.
that started.
No, you can't. Really, you can't. I learned that lesson with one of mine a long time ago, and yeah, I did definitely had to fix that and correct that. But she's turned out to be, you know, brilliant. So at
Yeah,
least she turned out right after I corrected it.
yeah. She turned out really right. Hmm. Don't get me started on that one daughter of yours.
Yeah, I know, right?
We'll go X-rated here real quick.
Yeah, no, don't do all that. I don't need the people being thinking I'm a perv to my own daughter. Damn it, no.
Well, they already know that you are. They
Yeah, I know,
already
right?
know.
Damn, like,
Sub,
damn, I can't say my
sub,
own daughter's pretty as fuck.
subconsciously. Well, it's not just pretty, my son. I'm talking about
You
some
know.
really deep shit here. We won't even get into it. We just, we can just look at each other in the eyes and just be quiet. We just know what's going on.
We know what's going on. Yes, you do. What are you talking about? Mom's got the car, you dork. She went to work. You need to go back to sleep, okay?
Oh, you got one.
I got one that just woke up from a nap.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy for you.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'll be in a minute. Hold on.
What does she want you to do?
She's, she's freaking out because the car is gone. They have school in the morning.
Oh,
They don't have to be at school till like almost 9 o'clock tomorrow. So
yeah.
their mom's going to be back in time. So like she's freaking out because she woke up and the car's gone. Like she thinks that it's morning time or something already, and we're going to be
Oh,
late for school.
yeah. I can understand that.
I've
I've
woke my
actually.
kids up doing that on purpose one time, or a couple times. I'd like they go get home from school and it's time to eat dinner and be like, go down there, like wake them up. Hey, dude, you need to get up. It's 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning. You need to get ready for school. You're gonna be late.
Yeah.
Like, my dad used to do that shit to me. I used to hate it, and I did it to my kids, and I was like, man, I never did it again. I felt so bad because I mean they started crying when I told them you weren't late, and it was only they started crying. Like, you're so mean, Dad. I was like, I'm sorry, I won't do it again.
I've even done that at my age. Woke up and not known in the evening, go to sleep early
Yeah,
in the day, and not wake up at night and think it's morning, time to get up.
and freak out. Yep.
Yeah. Um.
Mom took the car to work. Okay. Yes, I know you do. Mom will be back in time. Give me a drink. You get on drink.
What are you drinking?
Coca-Cola or cola from Sam's Cola.
That's boy. That's poison. That's poison. That's
I know.
poison.
We both drinking some poison, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's all good though.
They say Coca-Cola is the most acidic drink on the market today,
Yeah,
and that
it is.
it will eat your intestines up. It will eat into your intestines, slowly give you diverticulitis, and totally ruin your bowel system.
Do you know that your stomach's made of hydrochloric acid?
Mm-hmm. But it's encased.
Yes, it's
It's
encased in
it,
like a weird. Isn't it? It's like kind of like a what? It's like I don't know. It's weird encasing because like
it's
plastic.
indestructible. It's
Yeah,
indestructible.
it's like kind of like there's like a liner that they make that's yeah, it's pretty cool for shit like that. And they put it in plastic drums. Full sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid comes in plastic drums and shit like that. When I
Mm-hmm.
worked at the plant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's pretty. Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't let it get with some salt or some uh any other kind of like let's say galvanized metals or yeah any other metals that are like not stainless steel because they
Right.
will start to yeah fall
React.
apart pretty quick. Yeah, react and yeah, pretty fun.
Chemicals, yeah, react to each other. Yeah, alchemy. Yeah,
Yep. But yeah,
caustic reaction.
we used to do a caustic reaction. It was called a reaction system. We reacted tetrachloric or OCT, which is orthochlorotoluene. Yeah,
Uh huh.
orthochlorotoluene made
Yeah.
thinner, paint thinner, toluene thinner. We used
Yeah.
to distill that stuff, and it was pretty nasty. It came out of this trailer, pressured up with nitrogen. It reacted with moisture in the atmosphere. So whenever we took the cap off, we had to make sure we had all these the green suit on, the mask on, the green rubber gloves, everything all encased on, and we had to
Right.
take the ears off one at a time, release pressure, and it would react with the pressure, and then it would like we'd put the fitting on there, and then we would purge the trailer with nitrogen back to the feed line to the belly of the trailer,
Yeah.
purge it to 20 to 30 psi, full of nitrogen, put the nitrogen blanket on top, and then once we got it, we start feeding it with a certain rate, and then we start mixing caustic with it to neutralize it and to slow down the reaction process of it, because the reaction process would heat up and get really hot and it could blow up if it got up above 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, we had to make sure that we never got it above 110 or 108 actually. And if we did, we shut the system down and make sure that we had to figure out what was causing it, because we couldn't get our feed right and our caustic right. We couldn't neutralize the system in time, and then we had to treat it with acid after that.
Oh, very
After we
interesting.
let it sit, yeah, we let it
Very
sit,
interesting.
separate. We let it sit and it would separate the toluene all the way to the top, and then we would skim it off from the skim feeder and put it into another tank and feed it into a feed tank, and then we would send it over to the distillate unit, and it ran through 4 different columns before we got final product, and then we had to do a GC shot to make sure it was good before it went
Mm-hmm.
online to a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'd produce like a trailer of or 2 trailer loads of distillate a week. We almost got up to a point where we were doing 3 loads a week, but
Mm-hmm.
system kept screwing up on us.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Very interesting.
Very, very. Yeah, that was one of the 12 different systems I had to run there at that chemical plant, recycle plant.
Sounds like you have a real love for chemistry. Maybe you should have went into chemistry.
I kind of go. I do like chemistry. I think it's fascinating. Um, kind of, it was neat to how to do the caustic percentage, on our on the stuff when we were running it to make sure that our caustic percent was a 2 to a 1 instead of a 1 to a 2 or a 2 to a 3 or something like that. We had to make sure that
Yeah.
our pH was just right, so that way we weren't eating
Right.
any of the tubings and the exchangers or any of the other piping, because once it got to a certain point, it started eating up, our metal
Equipment.
coating that made for
Yeah.
made for it. It was made from the metal that we used was called melanite. We had a melanite pot as
Uh huh.
well, or no, it's called Monel. I'm sorry, it was Monel. It's Monel metal. This thing was 3 or 4 inches thick metal, and that's how thick this tank was, all the way
Oh,
up and down. 4 inch Monel metal.
I see. I see. I see. We're actually live on Facebook for actually tonight. We weren't the other night.
Oh,
You know what happened to me last night? I want to tell you
what?
what happened to me last night. I got
Okay.
off air. I got off air, and I thought I was in stream. I thought I'd ended the stream. I
Uh huh.
almost know I ended the stream.
Okay.
Well, I left the screen open and went to another tab. You know, like I always do. I don't necessarily close the tab just because I go off air. But
Yeah.
I left the tab open and I went over and went to Facebook. And about that time, Will Stray called me. Well, I can go ahead and put it public now because it's all over the damn world. It's too late to turn it back. Will Stray called me on the phone. Well, I
Oh
answered
shit.
the damn phone. Well, I didn't know I was still live all over the world on Facebook. I'd left Facebook somehow. Facebook had stayed on. And so Will and I are talking just like you and I would talk privately about everything in the world.
Yeah.
Well, that's all out there. I don't
I
know
mean,
what all, I don't even know to this day what all we said. I haven't even looked at the whole tape, but it's out there. I know it was an interesting discussion. I know it was highly
do you?
philosophical and highly analytical, and it was highly political, geopolitical, and it was probably good material.
Yeah. Probably.
It might have even been better material, knowing that we weren't live.
Probably.
And
Those
Will
were all.
still doesn't know we were live. I haven't told Will yet that we were live. I got to tell him tonight.
If he's not listening right now.
But anyway, I was supposed to meet him here, and he didn't call me today. He was supposed to drop a load about an hour and a half from here in his
Oh wow.
18 wheeler, and he was supposed to call me. We were going to meet, but he didn't call me, so I don't know what happened.
Hmm.
He may be listening right now. Will, if you're listening, you can still drop by and sleep at the Shell station in your truck, and we can meet you. We're only a hop, skip, and from there, a couple of blocks. If you
Yep.
decide to call, just call me on my cell phone. or drop in here, see us. Last night he couldn't get on. He tried his best to get on last night, couldn't.
Did he?
He
Yeah.
could hear us. He could hear us. Well, see,
Okay.
that's the thing I was worried about with my, sometimes I'm mentally challenged when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't sure how many, if they were listening or if they had to be here, or I didn't know when I first got on this platform. I
Yeah.
didn't know what was going on. Well, people can listen to us without being here. I mean, thousands of people can listen to us without
Yeah.
being here. And they're
Yeah.
listening to us for all these other platforms. I have to get that in my head sometimes that we're being listened to on eight other platforms right
Yeah.
now.
Just because there's nobody here right now doesn't mean that there's, um, or on this, this stream right here on per se, on
Right,
this
right.
one band,
We're running
but there's other
simulcast.
bands.
We're running simulcast with all of
Mhm.
these other streams equally. So
Mhm. So
yeah,
I
it's
got my
amazing.
Facebook page streaming right now, so that
Yeah,
way I got it, uh, I guess tied together with this, so that makes that work. So that gives us
yeah,
another one there. So I mean,
yeah,
yeah, do what I
yeah.
got to do.
Loki always pairs with his too.
That's good.
Now
Good.
That guy Desmond, we need to investigate him.
Okay.
We need
Okay.
to find out. We need to find out what's going on with him because he's a
Okay.
strange character. He's up to
Yeah,
something.
that's what I was just, like he started saying something about it, and then I was like, okay, so that's why I kind of forwarded his name and stuff to you, so that way we could kind of get that feel for him, and
Hmm.
then just some of the things I don't know, they just kind of are odd too, but maybe he's just odd like us, so that's why.
Maybe. But
So
that's I still wonder why he blocked me on Messenger after our great conversations and all the wonderful intel I gave him and all the feedback I gave him and all the philosophical deep conversations we had and geopolitical and analytical and intellectual and analysis paralysis and then all of a sudden bang, he's gone.
well, he hadn't messaged me today, so that's kind of
He asked me a lot about my background and he was interested in my undercover work and he was, now that I look back on it, he was asking some questions that really kind of make me wonder about who he was, you know.
yeah. Now you're saying something, and I mean, and he blocked you, and then he's not
Uh-huh.
really saying nothing about
And
anything
there
to me
wasn't any
anymore since
argument.
last night.
There wasn't any argument with us or anything. We went
Right.
out with him saying thank you. I looked at the last message. It was thank you, sir. You're great. You're wonderful. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's gone.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's not like
Oh,
we had a big fight or something. Which,
yeah. I'll see what you're saying. I got you. Well, yeah. We'll figure it out.
I mean, we do scare people. They
Yeah.
sometimes people get scared and they might just all of a sudden freak out and go, I don't want to be around them anymore. Oh my God, they're freaking me out.
I don't want to see that dude's post no more. Block.
I know,
Unfriend.
man. Their guys are freaking me out.
You know.
And I still
Maybe I'm getting
say
too deep in shit.
foreclosure group threw me out. I can't understand. Eduardo threw me out of the foreclosure group. Some other moderator did.
Really?
Well, I said I went off on him. Um, it was one of those God things. I
Oh.
went off on him. He said something really dumb, just really dumb
He
on that
probably
page.
deserved it then.
And I went off on him, and next thing you know, I'm history, blocked, which doesn't break my heart at all. I've gotten so thick-skinned. I think weren't you were the one that told me that you were thick-skinned or you'd gotten thick-skinned over time the other night. You told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that you've gotten
Yeah.
thick-skinned.
I've had to.
I've gotten
I've
very
learned
thick.
it.
I've gotten very thick-skinned over the years.
Yep.
It doesn't phase me when people block me or they argue with me or they call me names or it doesn't
No.
phase me. Just it.
Yep. Just don't put your finger in my chest.
Right.
It's gonna
Just
get
don't.
broke.
Right. Yeah. Just don't. Yeah. Well, they wouldn't do that in person. See, most of these people won't do that in person. See, they'll do it on that. They're big shots. Tough guys on Facebook,
Keyboard warriors.
but they won't come to your house and meet you out in the front yard.
Mm-mm.
I've asked them to, and I've actually given them my address. Those guys that want to kill me and come and beat me up and they're going to take me out and all that stuff. I've given them my address and everything, zip code, and I never have seen them.
Yeah, that's the keyboard warriors that are
All
bots.
talk, all
All
talk and
back.
no do. So back to our discussion. If you look at this situation, this global situation that we're in right now, from a highly analytical, scientific, introspective, higher essence of consciousness uh, viewpoint or perception, you see it completely in a different way than you would if you were coming from a religious, spiritual perception.
Hmm. Very much.
Now, how would you say that changes the whole situation for one, psychologically or even physically? Your stress levels, your depression levels, your triggering mechanisms. How would you say that changes things for you to look at things more like Spock would on Star Trek, opposed
Okay, so
to some spiritually get grounded, half-wit, new age, spiritual angels are all over the place kind of person? God did this and Satan did that kind of person. So what's the difference in the way you look at all of this world situation that's going on?
you would have to look deep within yourself, really, to see why you let this happen yourselves and ourselves within our society and the way as a whole of people. I mean, that's how I would see.
Would you end up at some point saying that this is just the way humans are built?
I would say yes, but then no, because you can be reprogrammed.
Okay, so you can re-indoctrinated, you can be reprogrammed. Okay, so why are some of these? Well, some of these people must be being reprogrammed for sure around the world, right? Some of these bad
Yeah,
people that we think are bad, they, many of them are turning their lives around. I'm sure. I'm
yeah.
sure
I
many of
mean,
them are finding Christ, and many of them are finding Buddha, and many of them are finding Sadhguru, and many of them heard a tape of somebody
finding
else
their
and
inner
said,
self.
I shouldn't be doing this kind of stuff. I shouldn't be thinking about this kind of stuff.
I mean,
So,
because we
what is
have.
it then? Random chaos, random happenstance? Marion just said. Is it just? Is it about where you are in space and time at the moment that's changing your reality? Is it the timelines crossing? Is it you might have an opportunity to experience something that changes your life, or meet a person that changes your life, and that's so you're changed all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, all of that, every bit of that. I mean, because every bit of that accounts. Every bit of those are one factor or another, or tie into one main factor together.
So that's interesting concept. So why is there so much nastiness, as we would say? I don't like to use the word evil at all because that implies God and deity and angels and heaven and salvation and redemption and um, so the chaos that's
Hmm.
going on this in the world. Why does there seem to be three quarters of the world is in chaos or more?
Hmm. Yeah.
And there's a few people that say, "Oh, the glass is half full, and our chakras are being tuned up, and the stars are coming into the Aquarius alignment, and the rest of the world's just going to hell, in a handbasket." I mean,
Yeah.
is there not enough of those? Is there not enough of those little New Age angels floating around teaching those who they don't think should be doing such and such, or what? Is there not enough? What's going on? Uh, you know, are these billionaires that are going out causing wars and killing thousands and thousands of people overnight, and the stock market's going up, and they're making another $1 billion tomorrow? Are they just not watching the right videos?
I mean, that or they just hadn't got to the right, point in time where they're going to have to change their life one way or another. I don't know. They're still not, they don't feel like.
Now, if we're living in a machine, if we're living in a matrix, if we're living in a simulation, why should they change their life? I was going to corner you up on this.
Oh, I know. I mean, that or they just won't be able to continue on, and whatever the next motion of things to happen. I don't know, and maybe that
So,
or that destined for them to have to change. You
well,
never know.
well,
I don't know.
our science tells us that our science gives us a nihilistic view of existence. Our science gives us the view that we're purposeless and meaningless. Our
Hmm.
science, our equations, all of our empirical evidence points to the fact that we are just our little perception of this fourth dimensional space-time continuum is just completely meaningless. It doesn't even
Yeah,
exist. It's a vapor coming out of a bottle, fart bottle. It's
pretty much.
you know so
Well,
wouldn't that tell
one of
you
the
that
many
it doesn't
programs.
really matter? Wouldn't that tell you it really doesn't matter what the hell we do?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but even then,
No,
like,
no. You said but. You're
okay,
still hung.
no, no,
You're still
hold on.
chained to that. You're still chained to that deity essence. You're still chained to that deity idea. Come on now.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, I
Bet.
wasn't gonna say a
Bet.
deity era. I'm going to your looking glass era thing there with your energy ball. I'm just saying, what that energy ball has for projected timelines,
Ah,
it has a big
okay.
factor to play.
Well, you
I'm
fooled
just
me on
saying, I
that one.
know that has a big factor to play.
You fooled me. You fooled me. I thought you were going
I
in a
did.
different direction.
I got you,
So
didn't I?
you're saying that they're playing with the timeline, with the ball. They're playing with the plasma ball. They're having a game over there. Maybe a
Yeah,
little game.
they still trying to play with it, but they can't make it work like they want it to.
Right. We both studied some on that. They've had trouble. They've had trouble. They were betting on it at one time. They were actually investors were
Mhm.
actually betting on it at one time and putting
Yeah.
money into it, like the stock market at one time, on what was going to happen, and the ball would change course on them every
What if I
single time.
told you the ball has figured out that they have been manipulating it, and it's figured that out and
Yeah,
has changed
like a super ultra AI that's become
it?
sentient, somewhat sentient.
Hmm. Hmm. I've been thinking about that.
That's interesting thought. Now that is a very powerful thought.
Thank you,
That
brother.
is very powerful.
I mean,
What
I don't know
if
why,
the
but that's been I've ever since that came across my desk almost 2 years ago, and I looked into it, and
You're
even when I looked
copying.
into
You're
it again,
copying me. I always say, "Come across my news desk this morning."
I
Sounds
gotta
so
get out
professional.
here.
You sound so professional. Let me tell you. You sound
Come
like
across
Howard
my phone
Cosell.
here.
You sound like Dan Rather now, or
I know, right?
Walter
I'm trying to do
Cronkite.
something here.
Walter
Don't ruin it
Cronkite.
for me. But no, like, for some reason that like, even when I watched the movie or that TV show Loki, it even talked about that energy ball in the timeline of that show. So like, even that was like, holy shit. Like, I even was like, at that time I was researching that, and then my wife started watching that show
Hmm.
shortly after I had researched it a little bit. And so like, I watched the show because that triggered me to like, hold on, that's something I just fucking learned about before I even watched the show. I didn't even know that the show was going to be about any of that shit. And
Hmm.
so, because I don't really, get into, what's coming out, way before it comes out. I just want to see it when it comes out to see if it's going to have any meaning that I'm going to be able to interpret from it or not.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I'll wait till then, so that way I can see the full picture of it instead of trying to figure it out and be like, no, that's going to be some stupid shit. So, but yeah, that's kind of how I've been, feeling. And it's, I just, one of those things that you just, it's like you feel energy from it. It's like that for real.
I haven't heard as powerful of a story and read as many documents as I have on that plasma ball that have really turned
But
me on and really made me look up and think, wow, this is really interesting. This is something I need to look more into. It really shocked me when I found out about the ET giving them the interviews of, hundreds of pages of interviews, thousands of pages of interviews, and then finally making a deal with them that I'll take you to the ball. We know where it's hidden. It's in Iraq, and I'll take you there. So they took the agents there, and then the agents, of course, did their diabolical thing. We want power. Now we've got this little alien here that we could just squash like a bug.
hmm
Probably, his partners probably won't come after him, to save him. So we'll just take this ball over. So they took the ball over, and then, as I understand it, the whites moved in, the white aliens. they moved the the tall whites.
Yep.
They call them the tall whites. Well, they moved in and said, no, 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 no. We're not going to do it like this. We're gonna split this up. We're gonna and so there was a war. Remember, I told you there was a war.
Yep.
People got killed or a
Mhm.
fight.
Yep.
And they were slinging furniture around and shit, and they were shooting each other.
Yeah.
And then so they finally made some kind of a deal. Like, well, this is
Yep.
stupid. We can't sit around here and just shoot each other all day. Let's figure out maybe we can make a deal and we can split this responsibility up.
Yep.
But to this day, I don't know what kind of deal they made. Um, but I do know they're manipulating the timelines.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. And like, kind of like in that show, they, they figured out that their timelines were being controlled or manipulated, and so therefore, like, when he gets imprisoned, he's like imprisoned to something that he happens to do in a future life or something like that. I can't remember, or he did already, or was going to do, even if he hasn't done it yet. They go ahead and imprison him for it. And that's how he finds out all about this timeline stuff, and he's trying to figure out how the hell is it working. And then it goes all back to the one, and they call him the hell did they call him? Number, I don't remember. Whatever the Sophia and Eon. Eon was his name.
Yeah.
And Sophia, was one. So yeah, they were part of that. Yeah, it was kind of a
And
it was
they
kind of
were
cool little show.
the agents in the documents I read. The agents were pissed because they were betting on futures that were working in the plasma ball, and then all of a sudden the plasma ball decided to start stopping their futures, changing their futures.
I mean,
So maybe the plasma ball is sentient. Maybe it has grasp consciousness, higher consciousness.
I would say that's. I mean,
Yeah.
shit. I mean, to me, I don't know. Have you seen that movie Moonfall yet? About the moon?
No.
About how like why we never went back to the moon or whatever. There,
Came across
whatever
came across my desk yesterday, but I haven't looked at it yet.
Well, good. Well, it's one of those kind of like weird movies about some kind of like computer program that humans created a long time ago. That's wasn't the program that they built to make the moon with, and the moon was a megalithic structure or something like that, and one of the biggest megalithic structures ever brought into our atmosphere and stuff like that. It was pretty kind of a cool movie, how what they were talking about and stuff. But like at the end, when he kind of helped destroy the thing that was trying to destroy the moon and eat the moon's core out and all its computer programming or whatever, he died, and when he was brought back within like the computer's mainframe or the computer's program of being in a world of like a world of Eden, where just everybody was at peace, and everything like that. And he was one of the people that was a program in it now. I was like, the hell? So make you think about where are you at in this program? Where are you really at in this matrix? Kind of gives you an idea of where we really might be at.
Well, Elon Musk seems to think that we're in some kind of advanced AI that's beyond what we call AI now.
Yep.
Maybe for 1,000,000 years we've been trapped in this advanced AI that's self-sustainable, self-maintaining. And AI as AI moves along and rises in the levels 1, level 2, level 3 society, whatever you want to call it, Earth, the AI begins to duplicate itself like it's doing now with machine learning. It's duplicating itself. It's taking care of itself. It's training itself. So it's recreating itself. So if you keep doing that over a period of 1,000 years, let's just say 1,000 years, might be 100 years, I don't know, but let's just say 1,000 years. That will eventually you're so far into the metaverse. We'll just call it the metaverse, even though that's antiquated probably. You're so far into the metaverse and you've become so advanced that now you've lost your physical compression, and you're just nothing but another physical illusion in another metaverse.
Yeah.
And then you're going into another metaverse, into another illusion, and then another metaverse into another illusion. So we could be 100,000 times or 1,000,000 times in and not even know it.
I don't even know.
And that's interesting. I mean, that's mind-boggling, and there's a lot of science that proves this out.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
so
maybe our
we're not actually sitting in a physical universe. Is what all of this boils down to. Is what we see is distance is no distance at all. What we see as linear is not linear at all. What we see as space is not space at all.
no.
But somehow we see it as spatial.
Yes.
But it's not. Spatialness is an illusion. Depth, width. Well, that's why we have a third dimension, right? Height, width,
Yep.
and depth.
Yep.
And then the fourth dimension being time, right?
Yep.
But it's not, if that doesn't exist except in our cerebral cortex, then what are we?
Very much. You know.
Wouldn't
That's a
you
very
love
good
to
question.
know what's on the other side of that?
Yeah, that's a
what
very
everybody's
interesting question.
that's what everybody's been looking for these thousands of years. You know,
Thousands of
this
years.
little
I mean,
epoch.
that's
You know,
going to be another 1,000 years for somebody else to try to figure out.
and I don't think they'll ever figure it out because I don't
Oh,
think the universe has an answer. Like the gurus say, it's forever. It's infinity. It hasn't ever stopped. It never will start. It never started, so it never will stop. There's not a starting point. There
yeah.
is not a starting point. Every Middle Eastern book you will ever read, every book you will ever read, including the Bible, says there is no starting point. There was never a starting point for anything.
No set date or anything. No set
And
time
there's
of when.
no end point. There's no end point. So you could just blank all that out.
It's never ending.
So how
Yeah.
long have we been around? Now the question is the big question, the big multi-million-dollar question is, then how long, my God, have we been hanging around this illusion?
Well, let's say it's 2022 right now. I guess we've been around
No,
here
it's
for.
not.
We've been stuck in an illusion for 20,000 years or more.
No,
I don't know.
that's an illusion.
I
Time
know,
does
right?
not exist.
It don't exist.
Time is an illusion that we have come up with subjectively.
See, there you go.
So
So there's no time.
So we live by the clock, but the clock doesn't exist. There is no time. There is no date or day.
Nope.
There are no seasons. All of this, see, people can't expand their imagination large enough to understand that.
They kept it so simple back in the day, probably.
Back when we
Now we
were
got to
8,
just make it
9 years
simple.
old. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's so much better back then.
Well,
Man,
some people
those
would
days.
rather just not have this discussion. Some people would rather just not have these types of discussions and just live
Man.
in a very simplistic kind of go to work, come home, watch TV,
That's boring
eat,
as
go to
fuck.
bed, life, you know.
That's boring as fuck, dude. I can't. I can't.
Well,
I can't.
I've gotten overwhelmed sometimes to the point where
Yeah.
that was a thought that might be kind of nice to be like that, but
It's
I
nice
never stayed
every
in it very long.
once in
Yeah,
a while.
yeah.
It's not something I suggest doing every day
But
anymore.
my mind always switches back to the questioning.
Yeah. Start
Every
having a
time.
question for another question.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what do I about like when I took the mission on of was Jesus a real man? Did he have kids? Was he married? Oh shit. I found out he was.
Yeah.
He did have kids. He
Well,
was married.
Barnabas,
Holy shit.
Barnabas and 12 other books that I know that were written at that time state the whole history of his marriage and children. Not marriage, but get together. Wasn't a marriage.
There you go. Whatever you would call it.
Get
Yeah.
together. Don't forget that word marriage. Let's just scrap
No.
that from the English language.
Yeah.
Relationship.
Relationship.
Marriage should have never I don't know. Marriage is a state thing. Marriage is a kingship thing. Marriage is a property thing. Marriage is a contract. That word, you're so programmed into that kind of thinking.
So she's
That
my. So basically, if I told her that she's my property, she wouldn't believe me, but she is.
yes, she is.
So that's food for thought there.
Yeah. You could be kind of snotty and say that. Yeah. Um, you're just two entities in passing.
Yes. Yes. Very
That
much.
makes it kind of sweet. That makes it kind of sweet. Where you're two entities in passing, and if you should pass together and stay together, oh, wonderful it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if we should part, then that'll be so.
Yep.
It's just as easy as peasy, right? And that
Shouldn't
would
be
be wonderful.
$5,000 to get a divorce or anything like that.
No, come on. 25,000, 30, 50, 75, 150. No, it goes up and up and up. It
A
depends
lot.
on how much of an estate you've got,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
and getting married. I've seen people spend 25,000, 30,000, 75,000, 150,000 getting married, and then I've seen them divorce in 2, 3 years when they used to run with the jet set. I mean, how ignorant, how stupid can people be to be so educated and have PhDs, master's degrees, and do that kind of thing? I mean, just you know,
It just buys into the system. They'll feed into it.
yeah, and it's like that girl I told you about yesterday on my Facebook feed that can't pay her bills, and I've got $20 left. I work at Walmart. I got $20 left this week, but I've got to make my $560 truck payment. Oh, I've got a truck. I've got a truck. I've got a truck. Whoa, why don't you sleep in your truck, bitch? Why don't you move into your fucking truck? I mean, what kind of brain does it take to do that? You can't even pay your bills. You're working at Walmart. And you go out to some used car lot and you buy a nice brand new truck for $560 a month, and you can't even feed your kids half the time, and you're running around ragged clothes.
They just graduate high school. I'm just saying. That's something that you when you graduate high school.
Tim's just looking at this, going, "What the hell are this going on here? What the hell is this?" Look at Tim. He's like, "Oh shit." But what kind of mentality? I told her on Facebook, I said, "You're clueless." I said, "Girl, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Take that truck and let them come get it. Call the tow truck now."
Tell them to come get that son of a bitch.
I said,
Pay
"Buy you a
$200
$1,000." I said, "I bought a $1,500 car, and it's lasted me and Marion 6, 7 years, and I haven't had a problem with it. It hadn't burned a quart of oil in 2 years.
Damn.
That car has not burned a quart of oil in 2 years. It should have died in Death Valley. It brought us through Death Valley twice."
Damn. Well, shit. It's a pretty good car.
And we're so proud of it. We had the oil. I think we had a brand new water pump put on, which was, oh my God, that was a learning experience. I had to jack the motor mount up, take the motor mounts loose, and jack how you do it, jack it up, and then put the pump on, and then screw it in and get everything, and then put everything back down again, put the motor mount back on. That was a real job. The guy only charged me $25.
Well, that's not bad.
He was a master mechanic. Oh, this guy's a master.
It didn't take him no time then, huh?
Master mechanic. Oh, he loved it. He's like, "Oh, come on, bring it on, bring it on, bring it." He's like, what you gets excited about stuff like chemistry. He was like into mechanics, man. This guy was like addicted to mechanics. He was like, he lived it. It was his whole life.
Yeah.
I
know some people are like that. They're all about that. Actually, the guy that worked on my Yukon before my ABS system, I won't drive my truck just to say it's an 05 Yukon, and just say if it needs a whole new brake system put on it. I don't know what happened to it, but yeah, it blew. I guess something happened.
That's gonna be $500, $600.
Yeah, plus I'll have to redo all the lines to it because all the lines are busted for somehow. They busted out one day. Everything busted on it. Like my lines, even my bleeders, just fucking gave way. Everything.
Yeah.
He thinks it maybe been overpressured, but I don't know. He said it could have just been that they were just old as fuck and had a lot of water damage from it, and just never got changed and taken care of right and stuff like that. So I was like, who knows? But we replaced the water pump in it, and or had to replace my water lines for my water pump and my radiator one time because my water lines were busted going to the back half to my AC in the back side of the truck, so I didn't need that no more. So I said, screw it. We fixed the water leak and retied it in, and water pump was still messed up a little bit, and so I went to go to the mechanic to get it fixed. And the dude's like, man, he's like, I love what you did here. He's like, I like how you just re-looped it back into itself. It just said, fuck it. He said, it works. He's like, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to replace your water pump because that's all it needs to be replaced. I was like, cool. And like, he was done with it in like an hour and fucking like $30 he charged me. I was like, hell yeah, dude. It's like, because I already brought the water pump with me. He's like,
That's
$30,
good.
I'll have it done in an hour.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. It's amazing.
When you know people that are good at what they do, and they and you know that they're there to help you, and then they want to help you real and show you how to do it real quick too, and don't mind showing you how to do it and how quick it is to do it too.
Right. That's what he was.
They're like, hey, you can learn at the same time. You just pay me the labor for it. I'm like, sweet, yeah, that's kind of how I like to do it sometimes.
I used to like working on the old cars and trucks, but I don't like these new ones at all.
No.
The old ones, I could do everything on the old ones. We could pull the engine, put in new valves and whatever, everything. Do a whole valve job and carburetor, solenoid. But now, forget it, man. I won't touch anything except maybe 4 cylinders. I got 4 wires and 4 plugs I might put in. Yeah, I'll do that. Change the radiator cap.
Yeah, that's it.
But I'm not going to get into all this complicated stuff.
Circuit board, shit. This wire in here. Like, what does this wire do? I don't know. Don't need it.
I think it's all ridiculous,
It is.
I mean, we used to use baling wire to wire stuff up under the hood, just wire the radiator. One of the radiator mounts had come off. We just put some coat hanger and just wire it up or something.
I remember you only had like 6 wires that came out of the back of your radio, the one that your power wire that goes to your battery, and the one that, the ground wire, and then your speaker wires.
Yeah.
All that. Now you have to have like this multi-user interface box, that takes all the signals, and if it doesn't work right and it's burned up in your truck, then your truck won't start, and they don't tell you that shit. Then you got to get your dash, tear it apart, pull it all apart, unplug the son of a bitch just to get your truck to start again. And figure that out. Yeah, that was a learning situation. Yeah, and had to bypass all that shit and rewire my shit my own self without all that. Just fucking straight fucking hardwired it. And screw all that other
everything.
Shit.
Everything has changed technologically. It's just getting too complicated for the layperson to do anything.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And with robotics taking over, it's the workforce is going to be just sitting at home. So many people already being sent home.
Yeah.
They're going to have a universal income coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And working on the computer is going to be the end thing. It's already the end thing. What do I keep saying? Gonna be. Why do I keep saying that? It's already here. Everything's already here.
Right. We're doing it right now.
Right in our lap. I mean, my doctors are already talking to me online. My nurses are already talking to me online. My nutritionists.
I do my stuff online too. My doctor, I go to the clinic. Hi.
There's your cutie pie.
He's the one that graduated kindergarten.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he graduated kindergarten today.
Is she gonna be a little model too?
Probably knowing her, she's blue eyes, light brown hair. Level 2? Yeah, you're level 2.
I'm on the air. Don't bother me when I'm on the air, please. Thank you. Stick your tongue out at me. Can't you see I'm an important person here? I am.
Important.
Look at me. Sitting in my big chair here. Look at this, man. I'm a big, tall guy here. I'm on air.
On air. Doing big shows, big things.
David Ray Burhead. I'm on with David Ray Burhead. Oh, we're going to get emails for that. You are. I'm sending them your way.
Probably. Okay, that's fine. I'm not very good with working emails anymore. I
I'm
don't
not
even
either.
read
I don't
my
even look
emails.
at mine. I don't even open mine. Marion opens it for me.
I don't even know why. I know why I have one, but I was like, I
Dolly
don't have to sign
Parton.
up for shit, but why?
Dolly Parton has sent messages. I don't even read them.
Oh wow.
Nashville. I don't even read them. I'm crazy. I'm just crazy.
Yeah, I don't.
Stars or whatever. I need to go over there and look. Dolly may be
Yeah.
wanting to come on, and I wouldn't even know it because I don't go
Damn,
over there
dude.
and open those
There.
damn things up.
Hey, I tell you one thing, dude. I used to have a crush on Dolly Parton back when I was a teenager.
I still do.
She's pretty for an old woman like her, for an older woman like her. An
Yeah.
older
Well,
woman like her, yeah.
so
She's really pretty.
I bet you haven't scanned my page fully yet.
Now I've gone
Yes.
through some of it, yes, but not all the way yet. No, I need to see how far and deep. I need to get on your Instagram page and stalk it real good.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna do that in the next couple days.
Yeah. But my main page, they've Philip. I wanted to tell you, I opened up a new page, Wayne.
Wayne, okay.
So go to
I got that one. I
go.
need to go to that one and start
Okay.
doing some
Yeah,
stuff
we need
on.
to start posting, but be careful on that one. Let's post kind of some lighter brain stuff, brain mind,
Okay.
technology, whatever, blah blah blah.
Okay.
Transhumanism is fine. Nothing political. Let's try to stay away from the mean geopolitical shit.
Okay.
You
We'll
know.
try to. I know.
I
Oh
don't want
yeah.
to get banned again. I don't want to get pushed to the bottom of the RSS feed again. That's what they did on Philip. They pushed me to the bottom of the feed. For 90 days. I've got another 2 months or month or something where I'm just sitting there.
Just sitting there right now, yeah.
I ask who sees me, and it's like two people will pop up.
I do see your stuff, but it's like a couple days later. I've noticed
Yeah,
that. I've noticed your
yeah.
stuff comes up a couple days later. So, but I do see it at the top of my news feed, but it's like a day, maybe a day later, a little later,
See,
but it's
they're messing
top.
with me. They're messing with me bad.
Do you know well, I don't know if it still says restricted, but there for a while, mine had a restriction on it. And like from just my regular profile page. And I was like, what in the world? But like, it was like,
Why did
everything
you
was going viral.
Why did you take away the ability for people to post on your page? You son of a bitch. Was that my fault?
Well, that's not kind of your fault, but yeah, because all the couple people that were freaking posting, so many people. Yeah, I started getting a lot. I got so many. I was like, holy crap! I was getting so many people that were tagging me in posts. I was like, but I need to go through all the ones and redo them to make sure I can allow who can tag me for posts and stuff still.
Yeah.
So that's what I got to do.
No, I was kind of upset when I saw that. I thought, David, man,
I'm sorry.
man,
I
I was
mean,
excited. I was going over there to put one of my articles on your page, and it was like, oh man,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
I
block you
just
like that.
petered out right there. Just,
Just shriveled up. I'm sorry.
yeah, it's horrible.
With the turtle head.
I said David probably got tired of reading all my articles, and
No, I actually enjoy your articles. It's just I do need to go through and kind of sift through all that and make sure I'm allowing certain things to be tagged in and over other things that probably are just kind of just junk or memes or something like that just kind of are useless in a sense sometimes.
it's hard to
So
filter that stuff out. I wouldn't
yeah,
try that. I wouldn't try that because I wouldn't
well,
even
I had
know
it
how
pretty
for
filtered out on
one.
my old account, but hell, that was 3 years work. So.
Yeah,
But I'm getting this
yeah,
one done pretty quick though. I'm doing it
yeah.
faster this time. That's all I know.
All of our pages are alive and well.
Yeah, I see that very much.
Just to give you a report if you haven't
Good deal.
looked
I try to
lately.
look as much as possible. I try to. I mean, I'm all about the pages. Trust me, I am. I'm just, you know, at the same time, I'm just, I guess I've learned to be careful to what I post on the pages because of what I used to do. Because I used to
Yeah,
just post a lot of random shit on stuff. And so, yeah, there was times where, yeah, I can see where I got kicked out of a group or something like that sometimes, or, got, blocked or something like that, or even just, um, banned or something from just the shit that I would be posting sometimes. So yeah, there's some reasons I don't probably do a lot of posting at times too.
I
And then when
noticed
I
our
do, I try to
videos are
make.
getting several hundred hits. around
Yeah.
all of the different pages and places and
Good.
platforms and places where you don't even go yet. We're getting hundreds
Yeah.
of hits on our
I
show.
bet. I bet,
Yeah,
dude. That's good. I'm glad.
it's
I'm really
amazing.
glad. I think these, like, I really don't, you know, I can, I don't know, like, I know that this stuff is actually going on and how much it's probably getting out there. And
Hmm.
and I'm so, like, grateful for it. But I just, like, at the same time, it makes me so, like, wow. I'm like, it means a lot to be able to do that with people that share the same ideas as me, and just honored to be here, man.
Well, I've had nightmares of you running off on your own, like most people have done in the past, and starting your own show. But then you
No,
wouldn't have a network. It's very hard to do what we've done here, to weave what we've done here, what Mary's done here. It's very, very difficult to put together a history like we have. You can't wake up one morning and create the history we have.
no, then definitely not. And that's
You'd be
like when,
starting from zero. You'd be starting from zero. Now, you may, with your cute little face and all that shit, you may win friends and influence 300 people may come in on your Blog Talk Radio show in a month
yeah,
or two.
yeah.
But that's fine and
No,
dandy. Go for it. Go for it.
I like doing
Um,
this because this is what people need is people coming together and actually talking together with these same ideas, and not just out there just to get likes and just to get, followers, just because, I'm a cute dude or a handsome fella or whatnot, and you
right.
got smart handsome dude sitting next to me, dishing out all this good information to people, and it it's more than that to me, and that's what it
Yeah,
makes us a team.
Tim, you're handsome too,
Tim,
Tim. Tim, you're
it's
handsome
Tim.
too.
He
Yeah, Tim's
This dude
handsome.
right here, that dude over there
Yeah.
is like a mastermind. He's like the master behind the scenes. He's the mastermind behind the scenes of just making shit happen.
Well, if you haven't seen some of his stuff, you should take a look. He sneaks around. He does stuff here and there. He just kind of he's an interesting character. Tim is
Oh, yeah, I
always
imagine.
he does little things for us, and yeah, I never ask him. I don't even want to know. I just leave it alone because you know.
Let the beast do his job.
And he's got some good ideas too that we haven't even come forth with. He's got
Oh,
some
wow.
really good ideas about hashtagging and about blockchain and about he's got some really powerful ideas that I haven't taken the time to deal with it yet.
Yeah, I
But
need to get back to my
we're going
hashtagging
to.
again. I haven't been hashtagging in a long time. I don't know why.
I
I
always
used to hashtag
hashtag
all the
to an
time.
empty I always hashtag to an empty page. It's like there's no page like this. Well, okay. Well, there may be one now because I
Yeah,
just
I remember.
created it, right?
Yep,
You
yep.
know, I guess that's the way they
I
get
need to go
started,
back and
right?
look to see how many hashtag pages I probably influenced over the last 2, 3 years.
We should try hashtagging some of our stuff, like the show
Yeah,
names, the
yeah,
global and Lone Wolf Radio. We should try hashtagging Lone Wolf and just see how far it
yep.
goes.
I do that on TikTok too. I've had
Yeah,
hashtag on. Let you know my hashtag for Loki Stinson
yeah,
2, Loki Stinson 881.
yeah.
They all have over like one of them had like 100 and something thousand hashtag views. So I mean that had over 170,000 views.
Yeah, but
For that hashtag.
Daddy would say, "You idiot! Did that afford you a Baby Ruth candy bar?"
Yeah.
You know what? No, it didn't. Did it?
Mm.
Could you pay for getting your flat fixed down at Texaco with it? No, you
Oh,
couldn't.
no.
Who gives a shit? If you're
I
not
know, right?
using it for the show, if you're not using it for what you're doing here as a career,
Mhm.
then
Yep.
fuck it. Why are you doing it?
Yep.
If you're not using
Yep.
it somehow, you got to think, well, how could I use this? How could I tie this into the show or the pages? That's what you got to think.
That's how I've been doing it.
Otherwise, you're just farting in the wind. You're not. It's like
Oh,
you're
I
doing.
know.
Otherwise, you're
Hold on.
doing what you said you didn't want to do a while ago. Is the likes? You said, "Oh, these likes are just stupid," and I
No,
don't care about the.
no, that's and exactly, but that's I did a backdrop on that because I seen somebody talk about that on one time on TikTok. You do your hashtag, see how many hashtag views you did, and I was like, okay, I'll check that out. I'm like, holy shit, wow! But it doesn't say how many likes you had on that particular. It's just how many views you had for that hashtag. So I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely because you get you get views for that hashtag too. So that hashtag leads to views to where we're at.
Yeah. I'm
Yep.
not into TikTok. I was going to get into TikTok pretty heavy, but I got over there and got to looking at all the silly stuff going on. There's some creative stuff. I like the guy with the
Yeah.
mask. He's real fast on the mask. He does
Yeah.
different, really cool masks. He's got
Is
thousands and thousands
is
and
his name
thousands of followers.
Supreme? Like Supreme?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, something
send
like
me
that.
his
Yeah,
information. That dude is my dude. I used to follow him. He's so awesome. I
yeah.
love him.
He comes up with all these elaborate moves with the
Yeah, the
mask and
mask and
stuff.
all the background and all that, and
Yeah,
the music go with
yeah,
it. Yep,
yeah.
that's my dude. I've been
But
looking for him. I've been
but
looking for him.
I still wonder what's the secret. There's people. What are the motivations here? What are the motivations? What are the motives? Eh, you know, a guy was. I caught a video the other day, and it said, and I'll never find it probably again. It said, "Are you one of these podcasters that are out there relying on putting your promo on your pages before the show every night?" And I was thinking about me and you. Are you one of these assholes that thinks you're going to get listeners by putting the promo on your pages every night and on Facebook and then going live? And I was sitting there going, "Oh God, that's me."
Mhm, mhm.
He goes, "Let me show you the secret." He said, "Look below. I got a free seminar for so many hours." I thought, nah, I just got away from him. I clicked. I knew it was good. I knew it was probably
Yeah,
good, but it's another scam, another dead end road. So I just went and I left him. But he had some secret. They all have secret.
yeah.
There's
They
secrets
also
out there
secret,
where
but
we
our
could.
secret is what we do. That's what makes us us. Because that's how
Yeah.
I've been doing.
Well, there's probably more that we need to talk about. Like we
Yeah.
need to probably have a private meeting, which we can go on Zoom and have a private meeting and
Yes.
just have a brainstorm as to, okay, let's think, let's just think,
Yep.
what are we not doing? There's so much to do. There's so
Yeah.
much technology that could be utilized here. There's so much that we're not doing. We could we could quadruple what we're doing in a month, but we just don't know. We haven't talked about it.
Yep. We just haven't got to come across
We just,
everybody's ideas and see what we can get to make work.
yeah, yeah, we just haven't talked about it. We could probably do more than quadruple.
Yeah.
It could probably just exponentially just explode off the map if we just knew the right button to push.
Yeah. True there. Very much.
Now, I will admit I need to get back on Instagram because I was
Yeah.
getting very popular. I was headed toward 1,000. Then I told you I wanted to go to 1,500. I need to go over there tonight and do something.
Okay.
And because people are really following me over there, but it's mostly whores.
That's part of Instagram, bro. That's part of Instagram.
I mean, I've got all
you gotta
these
filter
women.
them out.
I have got so many women. I mean, just tons and tons
Yeah.
and tons and tons of women good looking women that want to, hi dear, how are you? You
Yeah.
can always tell. You can always tell their money. They're wanting money because they start out with, hi dear, how are you?
How are
What do
you?
you do? Do you live alone? Do you have
Yeah.
children? Oh, they always want to know,
Married.
yeah. So, I can scam you out of $1,000 or some shit,
Yeah, no doubt.
And I try to make friends with some of them, and they won't make friends. They're like robots.
No, they
They're
don't like to. It's
I want to make friends with one of these whores,
they don't want to talk as a friend.
I know. They want to do their spiel to get to your wallet.
Be like, you want to get to my wallet? How about I get to your wallet first?
Well, I started asking them for money. Remember I told you I reversed it on them? And they blocked me? They blocked me?
That's so fun. That's so fun. I love doing that. I don't know why, but it's so fun.
I'm 65 and I've had cancer a couple of times and I need $50 to help pay my electric bill. Could you help me? Block, 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 block.
Like, yeah, sure. I'd be like, yeah, sure. And then it's like, then not even respond. And they say, are you there? Block. Like, wait till they respond again. Yeah, I'll send it. And then they're like, wait for like 15, 20 minutes. They didn't get their money or receive it yet or the code.
I'm gonna be shocked. I'm gonna be shocked when some chick sends me 50 or 100.
Yeah, no
I'm
doubt.
gonna keep. I'm gonna keep putting the bait out there. I'm gonna keep asking them,
There you
all of
go.
them.
Got to.
Now, I like to look at their pictures.
Well, you got to make sure that they have plenty of pictures to look at because some of them have like 3, and it's like, this is all you
Yeah,
got. It's like,
and you
and you're
got to be
trying to.
careful. And you got to be careful because some of those algorithms they're hooked into will grab your bank accounts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If it
Yep.
says like, if you click on it and it says, "Do you sure you want to leave this page? Go to this." You
Yeah.
have to be careful with those.
Yep. Exactly. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't click on the links. Don't ever.
But but you should look at the beautiful women I have on my page from indigenous women,
Yeah, I've
Native
been seeing. Yeah.
American.
Yeah,
They
I've
are
seen that one.
just beautiful. They are just beautiful. And of course, the young ones have gone faded way down in the list. I haven't put them back up, but not because I'm afraid or embarrassed. I just haven't gone to get them and fetch them. They're
Oh,
beautiful little girls,
yeah.
just beautiful models from around the world. Oh yeah, I had a couple of girls block me. Good old friends. I had a couple of girls block me because we got into a show one night just before you came on, and we were talking about Billy was with us, and we were talking about the Mormon Church, and we were talking about the Bible, and we were talking about the Bible doesn't have an age for sex. None of the books, none of the ancient books have an age to start sex. It just says the woman should be on her period, in her period, and
Mhm.
be mature in the village, mature, over, thinking wise, she should be
Yes.
have her shit together.
Yep.
And that could be 11, 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. And she got pissed off and blocked me, called me a pedophile and blocked me and blocked Billy. And, you know, Billy and I have always had a thing for younger girls anyway. But we've been very public about that. And I've been very public about men in general lying, being liars, like you, David.
Yeah. Because if oh, thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. No,
I have
because
all,
if all right, so like if you don't say that stuff out in public, then you're not really you're really kind of hiding a secret. You're kind of keeping that to yourself as like something that you really like, and so you don't want nobody else to know about. So then therefore, yeah,
maybe you are sneaking
wouldn't
around, getting in trouble. Then maybe you are sneaking around, and you're pent up. You're so
exactly.
pent up. Maybe you are sneaking around. Maybe you are going to get in trouble. By
Yep.
when you really shouldn't get in trouble.
Yep.
But you have it all pent up, pent up, pent up, pent up, pent up. Something's going to explode on some little girl one day,
Yep.
and the cops are going to be knocking on your door, and then you're going to be like old Ken, where the SWAT team was listening to him on the phone. Yeah, well,
Oh,
yeah, I was on the couch with her, and I pulled my pants down, and one thing led to another, and then he's in
like
jail an hour later. Remember that if they ever call, your ex-wife ever calls you and says, "Did you do such and such with little Susie?" Say, "What are you, little Susie? Who? I don't even know. We had a little Susie."
sissy. Who's a little sissy?
Wake up, little Susie. Wake up, little Susie.
Man. Yeah, but I mean, like, God, I mean, that's how you would have to see it. People don't see
That's
it
the
that way. It's
world's Ken was the world's dumbest criminal, though. He was so fun with the goddamn cops. They were all sitting there at the cop station listening to him spill his guts about all this shit.
man.
He said, "Oh, well, she came into the kitchen in her panties, and she had a real short T-shirt on, and she was barefooted, and she sat down on the couch, and I was watching TV, and next thing you know, we were wrestling. All we were doing was wrestling, and then she started touching my pee-pee."
Oh, yeah.
And then the next thing you know, she's a sexy little thing. You ought to see this chick.
Mm.
And it's like the next thing you know, he's like, "Well, I touched her, and I pulled her panties down." And the cops are going, "Oh well, get the cuffs, get the car warmed up."
Gonna have to. Like, don't get caught with your pants around your ankles.
No, don't do that. Don't leave little Susie with me while you go to work either.
Damn.
Okay, I'll
I
shut
can't
up.
handle it no more. Don't leave her here by herself.
I can't
Damn.
watch this anymore. You can't tell me we're here on air and it's public and I don't care. You cannot tell me that doesn't turn a guy on, especially a stepdad sitting there on the couch watching TV, minding his own business, and here comes this sex goddess, 15-year-old sex goddess into the kitchen in her panties with a t-shirt up to her navel, her little navel, deep navel showing, and her toenails painted red, and her hair down to her ass. You can't tell me
Nope.
that something ain't going to happen if she's
Exactly.
aggressive.
Yeah. If she's the instigator, yeah.
And she's giggling and wanting to wrestle, and I'm gonna wrestle you, and you're like, oh, come on, wrestle me.
Yeah,
Please
you gotta be a
wrestle
little
me.
smarter. You gotta be a little
Please
smarter,
wrestle.
man.
Please wrestle me, please. Ride the horsey. Ride the horsey.
Run a horsey. Oh, man.
See, we're gonna get in trouble for this. We're gonna get in
Yep.
trouble. See, we're gonna get in trouble.
It might.
It's life. It's life. It's
People, if you can't at least have some kind of humor behind it, then it's not gonna, and you take it too seriously, then it's just gotta, you got some problems probably.
You've got a better chance of not getting yourself into that kind of situation if we're here kidding about it on air with other guys. They have a chance to say, well, you know what, they're right. This is funny, and I'm going to stay away from that kind of thing and be careful when after hearing that conversation about what Ken did, stupid Ken, they got entrapment, and so they're probably going to be apt not to get into that situation. We may save a life, save a man
Yep.
from going to jail for doing something silly,
Yep.
making
Definitely.
a silly normal male mistake. I would call it
Yep.
a silly normal male mistake in our society today. You cannot get by with stuff like that usually,
Not usually.
unless the ex-wife's into it.
Yeah, that's very. Yeah, that's
that happens
kind
a
of
lot
common too.
That's
That's
common,
common.
very, very common, very common.
Oh,
And the
people are like, oh
babysitter,
my god, they really said that out loud.
and the babysitter thing. We talked about that that's when she blocked me
Babysitter.
also. Well, the babysitter fantasy. A lot of men will have sex with their wife and they'll say, or their girlfriend, they'll say, oh, you're only 12. Oh, just, yeah, I'm babysitting you. Oh, I'm just, oh,
You're my
daddy,
babysitter.
daddy, call me daddy, call me daddy, call me daddy, 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 daddy.
Yep.
That's life. Hey, this is Lone Wolf Radio, baby. I told you, you might be triggered. Take a Xanax.
Yep. Slow your roll. Take a chill pill, like my mom would say. Take a chill pill.
Take a fucking chill pill, man.
Yep.
This is entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. We're not here just to inform and be philosophical and analytical, and we're here to entertain, and we're here to make you laugh. We're here to make you think. We're here to make you open up your mind, have a sense of humor, and talk some of these more serious taboo issues out into the open.
Yeah. Start talking. Make interesting conversations anywhere you go. I mean, people, you would be surprised on how willing people are to get into an interesting conversation about weird stuff sometimes.
If you hook them right. If you hook them
you
right.
gotta get them right.
They got to trust you. They got to totally trust you.
Very much. They don't. They're gonna really look at you like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like,
if they don't trust you, they're not going to open up their inner fantasies. You're not going to break into that part of their door. That door is going to be shut.
Mm-hmm. Yep, real quick.
But all men have these fantasies, and women too have these fantasies. Now, women won't admit, oh my God, you have to beat a woman in the head with a hammer to get them to admit stuff like this.
Yeah, very much. Very hard.
Although I have met a couple. On air. who said, oh, these young boys, I love to see that little bulge in that 16-year-old pants. I've had a couple of new age girls, popular bloggers, tell me
Hmm.
that they love younger boys. One told me about the pool boy. She had a 17-year-old pool boy, and her husband
Damn.
would go to work, and her and the pool boy would get out in the pool house and just do the roll, man.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what people do.
Yeah.
It's just
It is
amazing what people do. We're like
very much.
monkeys.
Yeah.
We
Anytime,
got mon-
wherever they can, sometimes.
that monkey brain going on.
That's pretty funny. That reminds me of being in biology in like 10th or 11th grade. We watched a video about like animals, um, having sex basically. And so like the monkey was the funniest one because we watched that. We probably watched the monkey do its thing, the 3 pumps, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and gone 30
Yeah,
times, bro. Like we rewound it because it was like that quick. It was like wham, wham, gone, and like you're like, holy crap! Like
yeah.
all the rest of them, it's like 5 minute long. You got the line over there, just a dun 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 dun
They're
dun,
not pleasure
but the monkey
seekers.
just boop boop done.
I know. I tell you what's really embarrassing is to see bulls. They have penises like 5 feet long. Some of them, and
Scary.
horses, 5 feet long, 4 feet long.
It's like a
Uh,
giant worm, man. It's so
it's
scary.
it's bang. That's wow, man. How does that work? How does that work? It's amazing.
Amazing.
Totally amazing.
I don't
And
know how
then
she made it work, but she did.
I there's a lot of things I don't understand, like turtles. How do they do it? I don't know. Did you call me
I
a
thought
turtle?
turtles were asexual. I'm just playing.
They
No,
might be.
that is kind
Penguins.
of.
Penguins are bisexual.
Oh, they're okay. Okay. I said
Penguins
asexual.
are bisexual. No, penguins are bisexual. I just wanted you to
Oh,
know. They'll
oh,
sit with a
wow.
gay. They'll be gay and sit with another gay partner forever.
Oh, well, whatever floats their boat, go.
Whatever floats your boat, and they've got civil rights just like everybody else, I guess.
Apparently so. Yeah,
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've just about covered it all tonight,
we broke it.
and yeah, we broke our record here for craziness tonight. But I'm
Yeah.
glad we got into a little craziness. But a lot of people
Mhm.
won't listen to us anymore because of what we talked about. But that's just too bad. I don't give a shit. I'm like George Carlin. I don't give a shit.
Well, we might lose some, but we'll gain a couple more
Yeah,
somewhere.
George Carlin. George Carlin always said, don't when you go out there, if you give a shit what your audience is thinking, then you're just fucked up. You're just an idiot.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
He never gave a damn what his audience thought about him.
No
And neither
kidding.
did Eddie. Neither did Eddie Murphy, and neither does the other black guy, the real smart black guy that got busted, went away with drugs and
Dave
went
Chappelle.
crazy. And then yeah, Dave Chappelle,
Oh, I love him.
brilliant comic, but nasty, twisted,
Mhm.
perverted, dirty. I mean, just as taboo. My God, this guy's taboo. But rich,
That's what he did.
famous.
Hmm.
And he walked away from a $50 million contract, just walked out the door. They didn't see him anymore for months.
Long time.
He didn't care about that $50 million.
They
He
didn't want
wasn't
it.
going to be he wasn't going to sell his soul to them.
No,
That's what they wanted. They wanted his soul. They
he's a
wanted to
smart man.
control everything. They wanted to control everything, you know. And
Yep.
he had a couple of other big deals he turned down with Sony, I think, and a couple of other
Yeah.
big deals. But
He kind of fell off there for a while, but you kind of understand why, once you really look into it and you see the
hmm
things that we see and the way we see it. So, yeah.
yeah, 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 for sure. Is the Earth flat? Is Elvis still alive? Are there people on the moon? Is Mars inhabited? You know, I noticed. I noticed a page come up today about Middle Earth again. It was so beautiful,
Ooh,
man.
love that
Middle
middle
Earth.
area. Love that.
I love that that just thinking about Middle Earth is just so,
Agartha and stuff.
yeah, amazing,
Yeah,
just amazing.
I love it too.
Admiral Byrd and all of his writings about the beautiful forest underneath Antarctica. And they've actually found a forest underneath Antarctica. The pictures just came out a couple of weeks ago,
I bet.
and you're like, how does that happen?
Hey, do you
How
want to
is
know
that
what?
possible?
Tell me something here. When I was looking at some Google Earth pictures from Antarctica of street views, why was I seeing like tropical areas down there for some reason?
You know what?
That
That's very interesting. I've
I
heard
mean, I'm
that.
just saying
Yeah.
like buildings that were built down there. Like look like condos and look like streets, palm trees, real beautiful. Like, and it was on Antarctica's fucking map of a street view that I
And
found and clicked on.
the military's got that part, big section blocked off where nobody can get in.
Hmm.
Like it, you know, they won't let ships. Nobody. You have to have
Oh,
top
it's
secret clearance to get
what is it? It
in
melted
there.
like 30 feet too.
I don't know, but
Like,
they won't let you in there, and nobody knows why to this day. They won't let you in there.
mm-mm.
Many theories have been that that's the alien entrance to the alien underground bases and stuff.
Yeah.
And the other one has been Admiral Byrd's underground cities, beautiful oases and stuff. That the aliens created an artificial environment underneath the ice. Like 15, 20 miles down.
Yeah, kind of makes sense too. Like when they in that movie Kong, where they kind of go south of Hawaii to find um, the entrance to Hollow Earth.
Well, they say there's several around the world
Mm-hmm.
entrances. Yeah, and there's also portals around the world. There's different portals on the
Mm-hmm.
ley lines. On the ley lines, you've heard of the ley lines.
Yeah, I live on the 32nd,
Parallel, 32nd parallel. Yeah.
pretty close to it. Pretty sure.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go. Tim's going to sleep. When Tim starts getting teepee, we go. But Tim, we love you, brother. Yeah, we love you,
Love it,
brother.
bro.
I always love Tim. I'm going to go see Tim one of these days. I don't even know where he lives. I'm going to ask him
Yeah, where does
privately
he live?
one day. He won't tell us on the. I don't
Okay,
want.
well
I
that's
don't want
fine.
people to know. Um, hey, Tim, you're on mute still, brother. You're on mute. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. I don't have you muted, Tim. Nope, you're not muted here. You are. Let's see, Tim. Nope, you're up. Network connection 1010. You're 1010. 5 by 5. And David Ray's 1010. 5 by
Yep.
5.
Yep.
Uh, nope, you're just muted. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But anyway, Alternative Public Radio International, Destiny Global International Media Network, and we are Lone Wolf Radio, David Ray King, Tim Dawson, and myself. Um, we really appreciate y'all, and the only thing I could really say in leaving is I am so overwhelmed right now with everything that is going on visibly and invisibly in my mind from research and reading these classified and declassified documents and studying and doing the work on transhumanism in schools and children and the AI and the New World Order and the new um, WEF taking over the global government paradigm and the Department of Human Services has been militarized now. Our hospitals have been militarized now. The WHO has been militarized now. The WHO has been given full power, police powers now. It's overwhelming, ladies and gentlemen. It's all, it gets to a point with me. Now this is not y'all. I'm just saying me. I've just zoned out. I've reached a point where I've just zoned out. I'm just like, you know what? You could just keep stacking stuff on top of what I've already got, and I won't even. It just doesn't phase me. I just don't. It's like, so
It's like nothing new surprises me.
I mean, it's gotten so crazy and so out of control that it's just it's hard to comprehend.
Yeah, very much, very much.
Haven't you kind of gotten to that point where you just like whatever? Well, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like,
So
like some shit that you see on TV too and stuff, and you read at times, you're like, it's like fuck, what's when that's not gonna surprise me now.
I know, and I've really stopped trying to educate people too.
You can only educate them so much until they want to educate themselves with it, and then they'll start listening and
I just
actually start looking at it.
I just think we come here, we have our fun, we do our show, and whatever else happens is ice cream on the cake or whatever they call it, cream
Yeah.
on the cake. I mean, it's all for our pages, all for our news that we put on there, and who learns learns, who doesn't, and fuck the rest.
Yep, exactly. That's all that matters. That's all we can do.
You guys take care. Stay away from the police, even though Marion's getting ready to be a deputy sheriff here in a couple of weeks.
Oh no.
So we're gonna go arrest David first thing.
Okay. All right. Come on. I'm ready.
Yeah, David's ready. Tim, take care. Tim Dawson, take care. I'm sorry you didn't get to say something. Your damn computers. Something's wrong with your computer, Tim. Look at him. He's trying his best to.
He's trying.
He's like, I can't get this
Do it.
motherfucker.
Why is this motherfucker not working right?
Tim, are you there? No, Tim's dead. Y'all take care, and
All right.
we'll see you tomorrow night.